Retro Requiem.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Retro Requiem. Today we are doing the first edition of what will likely be a recurring podcast. We are discussing Game of Thrones. Just talking about the most recent episodes. I think this one will be, in general, a look back at the beginning of Season 4 and a look ahead to what we can expect going forward. I am Collin McConnell. Joining me today is Andrew Wagner.
Hello.
Dean Yankowski.
Hello.
And I think it's safe to say we all love this show to death.
Yeah.
Yes, I went deaf once.
Because of this show.
Because of this, I just cranked the volume so high. I'm like, I want to hear Peter Dinklage.
Dinklage, Peter. You guys saw that video.
Yes.
We're gonna have to, since I referenced it, we're gonna have to post.
There's
post
a link
that.
in the description.
Yep, link in the description. So enjoy that, and once you come back to this podcast, So the most recent episode was this Sunday, "The Laws of God and Men," and it centered mostly around, the centerpiece was Tyrion's trial for regicide for allegedly killing his nephew Joffrey. I gotta say, guys, I think this was one of the best episodes of the series so far.
Series altogether.
I think it's of the series. Now, I mean, it might not stack up against Blackwater or Reigns of Castamere, but I think it's in the top.
It's definitely it was a really good episode. I'd say probably easily one of the best this year or the season.
One of the, I'd say it's one of the best of the series.
That's true. I mean, there's only 36 episodes in the series anyway, so it's not hard to narrow it down to the best 5.
It's definitely like top 5.
Yeah,
but it was a great episode.
Peter Dinklage basically put together his Emmy reel for this year. I mean, the moment when he was just like, after Shay, which in itself was a shocking moment, which I feel like I should have seen coming. But when Shay returned and basically just sold him down the river and completely took his heart and stabbed it into mush, and he just kind of broke down and was like, "Fuck you, people." Yeah, it was. That's some of the best acting I think I've seen on television.
That's because he's.
It's not television. It's HBO.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my mistake.
Is that like their slogan?
Kind of.
I think so.
I was just gonna say, because I hear everyone say that all the time.
Yeah, it is. I think that's actually their slogan. They've been saying that since The Sopranos.
It makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I guess we might as well talk about the trial first, and what we were expecting and what happened. I guess what I took away from it was that there was, and of course Game of Thrones is known for having no shame with killing off its characters.
Yes.
Even ones that are top billing, like Sean Bean, of course.
Those are their favorite to
kill.
You always die, Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Poor Sean Bean. One of these days he'll survive through an entire movie. Someday. So this had never occurred to me that Tyrion could die from all this, because we've gotten so used to seeing him escape from so many sticky situations and stuff in the past. But there was just a point in this trial during this. It was a drawn out scene. I don't believe they cut away to anything. But when the trial started, they stayed with the trial. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
And so just the way it kind of continued, it started where he wasn't obviously taking it very seriously himself, and you had all the people you expected to come and kind of sell him down the river. But then, Varys showed up and testified against him, which was surprising, because I thought, Varys has usually been on his side.
I mean,
Varys will do anything.
That's true.
I kind of figured that he would just stay out of it. I didn't feel like he would be for or against him. But, I mean, if he was going to be in the trial, I would have said against him.
Yeah. I guess it's the safe bet.
No one's going to go for him.
No. And everyone was, viciously against him.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just lying and...
Well, actually, although that's the thing, and this is what kind of got me thinking, is that, this is a show where if you deserve to die and not deserve to die in terms of, being a bad person, although certainly Joffrey got his, if you deserve to die because you made a mistake, because you fucked up somehow, you're going to die. You can't get out of it. Yeah. Ned Stark made a miscalculation when he actually told Cersei that he knew about that all of her children were bastards.
Yeah. That was stupid.
That was dumb. Robb Stark made a mistake when he married what's-her-name, and broke his promise to what's-his-name?
Those stupid Bridge River
people. What's his name?
I never knew their names.
I knew
that. Because I remember what's-her-name? Kat Stark screaming at the top of her lungs.
Well, I remember when I'm watching them, but it's season 4.
Walder Frey. Walder Frey, that son of a bitch. So Robb made a mistake, and then it's just that kind of show where you get what you deserve. And it was kind of like Tyrion had, everyone loves Tyrion because he talked to Joffrey in the way that he deserved to be talked to, right? He just smacked him in the face when he deserved it. And yet now, all the things, all the times he's done that, all the things he said to Cersei when we were like, yeah, you tell him, Tyrion, we're coming back to haunt him. They didn't really lie all that much. They basically
They portrayed it in a much more negative light.
True.
Because there's no context.
Yeah.
Like when I don't remember the one night the Kingsguard is like, telling him that he would kill the king or whatever, and he was like, but he's threatening a young girl with a crossbow. Yeah. It's like, there's no context is extremely important, especially in a trial.
Yeah.
It's an old trial, though. There's no context.
An oldie time trial, yeah. Well, you don't even get to mount a defense, really.
Yeah, right. He's a witch.
Yeah. The witch. Well, so my point is, I actually started thinking, like, Jesus, Tyrion might be screwed here. Like, he might die by the end of this episode.
I didn't know what...
Yeah.
No one came to speak for him at all.
Yeah. And, of course, Shay was the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. So that's what I got out of it. I'm like, what? I wouldn't be surprised next week if it's the last episode we see Peter Dinklage on the show. And I can't really... I'm almost to the point where I'm like, God, it's almost cheap if he gets away with it somehow. Yeah. Because, they've really backed him into a corner, and a great job of, the last thing he says is, I demand a trial by combat, which we'll talk about that, I imagine, in a little bit, but...
He's going to get that. Well, actually, the axe was given to,
not Braun. Podrick, yeah.
So I guess he doesn't even have his axe anymore.
Yeah. Well, so what
he's not going to fight himself.
I think he should.
I think he will, actually.
Against who?
I don't know. Actually, I think that he's gonna have Jaime Lannister be his villain.
His champion.
His champion. Yeah, there we go.
That's the thing, though. I feel like they did that already. I feel like they're not gonna bring that back to have someone fighting for him. I have a feeling he's gonna.
I could see it. He doesn't have anything to lose at this point, really.
Yeah. And also, if you get your brother to fight before you, then your father doesn't want to kill.
Yeah. So but that's a strategy. If you choose him, they might just...
You're like, oh shit.
He's not going to want to choose something that will kill his son, both his sons.
Yeah.
Because it'll kill Jaime in combat, and then he'll be executed.
So basically, it might actually be the Lannister line.
It might actually be a very good choice if he does that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't know if you can turn down if somebody chooses.
You can turn them down. You have to agree, but
because shit,
I have to fight for you. I might die now. Crap.
From a self-preservation standpoint, taking Tyrion's side is not a good idea.
I know, but
he clearly cares. He's like the only person that cares about Tyrion.
That's true. Well, I think Braun is kind of.
Well, as far as they're friends.
Yeah.
Braun can't really do anything to help him, though.
They're friends, and obviously, they like each other. But I feel like, Braun's not just gonna let him die. But if it's himself or Tyrion, he'd let Tyrion die.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Jaime would actually probably save Tyrion, then let him die.
That's true.
So I feel like that would be. I feel like it's probably gonna be Jaime fighting for him.
If anyone fights for him, it'll be Jaime. Yeah, for sure. Which is not a sure thing because he only has one hand.
Yeah, and it depends who he has to fight. Like I said, I want to see him fight the Mountain.
Oh God. Yeah, we haven't seen.
He's supposed to make a appearance this season.
I'm sure he will. Bring him back for Prince Oberyn.
Yeah.
I want him to fight Jaime and then start to lose, and then Prince Oberyn murders him.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, just stabbing him in the spine.
This was a great episode for a lot of characters, especially Oberyn. I think he had maybe his best episode on the show.
Yeah.
Where he was just that guy who's making he doesn't take any of this shit seriously.
Did you
just
fuck him like the last man in the world?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Did you fuck him?
I love Prince Oberyn.
Oh yeah, he's a boss. And his interaction with Varys is just one of those scenes that they do so well, where it's two great characters just talking.
Yeah.
And also Tywin had a great moment between Tywin and Jaime, where Jaime, I guess, I think Jaime thought he was kind of, driving this deal, and Tywin was already 2 steps ahead of him.
Yeah.
Where he was just okay, done. You go get yourself married and give me an heir, and Tyrion gets banished to the wall.
Yeah, which is not really that's worse. I'd rather die.
Yeah, the wall kind of sucks.
Well, I just mean you're a dwarf on the wall.
That's true. Yeah.
Like you're not gonna be anything. You're not gonna be a warrior. You're gonna be kitchen bitch.
Well, and you're also facing a massive invasion of both White Walkers.
But no one knows about that.
Well, that's true.
Well, they didn't warn people about it, but there was like an episode last season where there was like people talking about it in like the shittier parts of King Landing, but you know, it's at this point it's just like rumor.
Yeah, pretty much.
White Walkers. You mean dead walkers?
No, we're not talking about that.
This is not a bound 4x flame.
Bound 4x flame.
Bound 4x flame.
No one cares. Don't play.
Okay. I suppose while the topic of White Walkers has come up, let's jump back a couple episodes to episode. What was it? Episode 4? Where we had. And this set off this was not only a big moment for the show itself, but outside of it, where we saw a new character which had not been introduced in the books, I believe. What I was seeing in kind of like the internet and stuff was that people were saying that this is the first major example of the show doing something that treading in areas that the book hadn't tread on.
Talking about the crowned White Walker.
Yeah, the crowned, because you
can turn babies into Aryans.
Apparently, yeah, turn them into super Hitler White Walker.
This is why Hitler liked the occult.
Yeah, right. But yeah, interesting scene. We get, what was it, Craster's last incest-ridden son. And the White Walker takes him to like this giant fucking ice palace, and
puts him on the altar, and like I guess like the king of the White Walkers, whoever comes out and transforms his ass.
And that was something that I read about, was that it's rumored that he's a character that was slightly mentioned in the books, who was formerly a Night's Watchman from like millennia past.
So
who I think he fell in love with a White Walker who's like a woman who's some, haunting, beautiful White Walker, and then he left the Night's Watch and joined the White Walkers, and then now he's the Wraith King or something like that.
But so do you think, like, with that, because obviously George R.R. Martin is a decently large part of this show, so obviously he would have a problem with that if they wanted to do something with that.
Yeah.
Well, they always said that George R.R. Martin has basically told him the ending.
Well, yeah, already, but so. I mean, he was like, I've seen stuff where it's actually like him talking about them. They're like constantly asking him stuff about like what to do, and that's not like, because it is like the first big change. Like he said that it's like a original character. So you figure that fans
got mad because it was like a spoiler for the books.
I mean, the whole show is a spoiler for the books.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, like a spoiler for the books that have yet to come.
Yeah,
I think people the people who've read the books already have gotten so used to being able to be like, I can spoil it at any time for you, that they got butthurt.
Well, it's actually funny, when this show first came out, I was like about to start reading this series, and it was like Game of Thrones. So I'll read the books after I watch all the show.
That's what I'm doing right now.
This is what you watch a season.
Watch it like a season, and I start reading the book after it's already over. I'm like, I don't want the show spoiled. It's too good.
Yeah, the show is so good.
I honestly don't think I'm ever going to get around to reading the books, and here's the thing, they have made changes, minor-ish changes to the books in making the TV show, and the ones that I've read about, I prefer the TV show changes to the books.
Give us
every time.
Any example you remember.
I know that what's his name? Rob's wife was a different character in the books, and I believe she didn't die at the Red Wedding.
She didn't go into the place because she thought it'd be insulting.
Right. Yeah, and so I think George R.R. Martin's his justification. I don't know if she was pregnant in the books or not, but he said that he had her die because he didn't want any possibility of Rob's heir coming back to get vengeance on the Lannisters and all that. So I like that.
Was the show going to skip ahead 25 years?
Well, no, but I mean, I guess it was kind of... he does skip ahead in time, I believe.
Not long enough that this kid can grow up and oppose
True, yeah. But I guess he just didn't want that kind of plot thread hanging out there.
I guess.
There were a couple of others, none that spring to mind at the moment. But
I love the one where you know when Rob executes a guy by cutting off his head.
Yeah.
In the book, he goes and cuts, but couldn't get through the head cleanly because he's so young in the book.
Oh,
he's like a young king. And he's like, so he has to go and hack it again and again until it finally comes off.
I wonder if they changed that to Theon, because that's what Theon did when he executed the one guy in the show.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if they switched that around and had him be the one who couldn't cut through the guy's head.
Just to show his little.
Because Theon just disappears after a while in the books.
Nobody likes Reek.
Speaking of, well, here, this is something we saw in the most recent episode, was Yara, who's Theon's sister. I guess they set this up at the end of last season. She was going to try and go to the Dreadfort, was it?
Yep.
And try and rescue her brother. And this is kind of anticlimactic because she gets there, kills a whole bunch of, what was it, Boltons, I guess.
Yeah.
The family.
Yep.
Kills a whole bunch of them, finds the artist formerly known as Theon, and finds that he's just completely gone, like just completely lost.
Yeah, he's Reek now.
He's Reek. So I guess she just kind of gave up and goes.
Well,
back home.
he's basically fucked, and then Ramses releases the dogs.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's no point to try and fight all this because he's already dead.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Ramsay comes to him and asks him to act as someone different.
Yeah, he's going to pretend to be Theon Greyjoy. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to watch. The actor has to act like Reek, acting like Theon Greyjoy.
He's a pretty decent actor. I don't know what his name is, but he has he's done a good job with just being like completely tortured beyond any like just out of his senses. He doesn't even know who he is anymore.
No. I mean, they did horrible things to him.
God, yes. Let's see. I'm looking through the... Oh, okay. This is part that I actually really did like. We went to Bravos for the first time.
Yeah.
I was really happy about that.
The Iron Bank.
Yeah, and we saw the Iron Bank. First off, one of the coolest things at Bravos is the giant, like, statue that was, like, almost like...
the Colossus of Rhodes.
Exactly, kind of like that, yeah. It's a CGI budget going to good use there.
They actually built that.
They actually built it, yeah.
It's in New Zealand somewhere.
Oh, wow, look at that.
God, they have so many things in New Zealand.
I know, right?
It's like Middle-earth / Westeros. Yeah. So, yeah, we saw the bankers, I guess the people who actually hold the real power in whatever this world is, because it's not just Westeros, it's Essos, too.
I mean, great names, by the way, like West and East.
Oh, yeah.
I never knew that East was Esteros.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't spend a lot of time choosing names of these continents.
Oh, East and West. Yeah. Westeros, Easteros, done, move on.
Fuck it, yeah,
okay.
We're done.
Kill Ned.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's been the interesting thing, which I think we've only come to this season, is that the Lannisters, as powerful as they are nothing compared to the actual the people who hold the money.
They actually ran out of their mines, their gold mines.
We learned that last episode.
I think. It's crazy that it's like what's the other rich family? The Tyrells.
Oh, the Tyrells, yeah.
So the Tyrells and the Lannisters are both like afraid of the Iron Bank.
Yeah.
And it's like the Lannisters are literally, they run the country, so it's weird. Because I guess because of the Iron Bank, they have like basically infinite money, so they could just
pretty much
buy everything out from under you, or just hire a mercenary army to take all your stuff.
Yeah, and now they have. Well, you're gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, you're taking it.
I'm just excited to see more war.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was another... Stannis, who it seemed was, like, completely out of this, is now somehow back in it, I guess. Now that Sir Davos, who's total boss, is... found a way... Another great speech. He basically convinced the bankers to back Stannis in his still somehow continuing battle for the throne. I really like Stannis' storyline. It's kind of the same thing as Daenerys, where it's like... It's far off, but it's coming. Yeah. And, he has... Well,
Daenerys' thing might not be coming.
That's true. I guess that's the other thing that was this week, where we saw it began with a poor sheep getting
completely
burned,
eaten alive.
It was not a poor sheep. It was a whole flock of them.
Yeah, it was. But there was just that one sheep's bones, so no one cares about any.
How did he get the bones, by the way?
What do you mean they get burned?
They
were charred.
He burned the thing, picked it up, and the dragon carried it off.
There was a whole flock of them.
Yeah, so did he?
One of them
just burned to death and died there.
Yeah. I was thinking he might have done a Jurassic Park and sifted through the things and crap to bring out that.
I need proof.
Of course. Honestly, when that happened, at first I thought they were gonna be the bones of his kid.
I thought so too. Actually, I was thinking that.
I was gonna be like, your dragon's killed my son, you fucking bitch.
That's something that it was only they talked about in the first episode where they're getting too big to control.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's probably gonna be a thing sooner or later.
That was a really just kind of big tone shift as far as she's mother of dragons. The dragons do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And then just all of a sudden they don't.
Yeah.
Now they don't, and they don't care. And I mean, I always thought that she'd be able to control them, at least limitedly.
To some extent.
But now it kind of seems like they're just gonna like get full grown and just like fly away like later.
Maybe. I mean, they might be the equivalent of teenagers right now, where they're just like,
of course,
disobedient.
No,
mom.
You can't tell me what to eat.
Yeah, so what else happened in that scene? There was the guy who came in and wanted his father taken down.
To be buried.
That was a powerful scene, because it would kind of... The thing about Daenerys' storyline so far is, one, she's won all the time, and second, you don't really identify with her, the opposing forces, because they're slavers, basically. And this is the first time we actually saw, like, they're not all assholes, They're decent people among...
you can argue that, but he still had slaves.
Well, yeah, it's kind of one of the, Jefferson things where, he was a founding father, but he also held slaves.
He's a lesser evil.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, that's hard to say, because also it's about, like, the time period.
Yeah.
There's no social stigma against it.
Yeah.
It's actually expected of you. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of just like, I'm glad I crucified him.
Yeah.
But... I'll take him down. I'd be respectful.
Well, of course.
But the other cities are like falling back to the slavers.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can do that. I mean, there's like 1 million slaves.
What do you mean? Because
most
likely, I mean, I don't know what happened, but what I'm going to assume happened is that they lose their power and the slaves take over, and then there's going to be some masters left. So they're probably just going to be promising slaves stuff in order to, do
just
things
kill them.
for them. So it's like, because they have things and they don't, but they're fallen, so they're not going to kill them. He's going to offer them, the slaves, rewards, and then take their city back.
You should have left like 100 unsullied there, just to keep order.
That's a smart thing. I'm surprised nobody advised her to do that.
Like, hey, just leave like 200 unsullied. They'll keep in order. If any master tries to raise up, they'll stab him in the heart. It'll be good.
Yeah. But I mean, that's probably what happened, is just taking back control through the greed of the slaves.
Yeah. That's what I was expecting this week, to actually see her march back on one of the cities and try and take him back.
No, I have some friends that read the book, and they told me that she's going to be a Marine for probably a pretty long time.
Huh.
Okay.
So, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Another thing, and this is something that I don't know if a lot of people noticed this, but this kind of set off warning bells in my head, because last season, when Tywin was sending letters, it turned out that everything he was sending letters to all parts of Westeros, it turns out he was planning the Red Wedding, and was the culmination of that. This week he wrote they held a small council meeting.
Yes.
And they told him about Daenerys, and he was like, well, maybe we should start dealing with this. And he was like, what was it? I think Varys, who has contacts in Westeros. And he said,
contacts everywhere.
Well, yeah, he's freaking Varys. He was like, can you get a letter to Westeros and to Meereen? And Varys was, of course, like, yeah. And so Tywin is now writing a letter that's going to get to Meereen, which is kind of setting off warning bells, because he's like, uh-oh, is he planning to do something with Daenerys?
So you don't know. If anything, that'll be the thing that would cause her to come over there, is if they start messing with her.
Yeah, and I mean,
I have my whole theories about what's going to happen in the series.
Oh, well, yeah, you've told us it involved, of course, incest and
incest,
plenty of violence, so they sound good. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, it has to have incest in it.
Oh, of course.
What's the point?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Let's go back and look at the earlier part of the season. And we might as well start with the most surprising thing that's happened so far. the thing that got everybody talking early on was, of course, the Purple Wedding and the death of Joffrey. What were you guys thinking when you saw that? Were you expecting it at some point? Or?
Took so fucking long. No, I mean, honestly, when they had the wedding, I was like, he might die suddenly, is what I thought.
Oh, right.
And then he didn't die for a while. And then when the cake got there and no one went up to it but him, I was like, something might happen. And then the birds come out and I'm just like, okay, nothing happened. So then he eats the cake and, he dies. And I was like, well, that was kind of that was disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, they somehow found a way that even when he died, it was like, oh, okay. We wanted to see him get like torn limb from limb.
I feel like
gored.
Without like Theon levels of torture, I couldn't have been satisfied with his death anyway because he deserved so much worse.
Oh god, yeah.
I was satisfied.
I mean, it was like the best you could get with poison.
Because I kept on thinking, oh, like Dean, oh, he's gonna die here. No, he's gonna die here. No, he's gonna die here. And then finally he died, choking, and like crying blood, reaching out for his mother like a little bitch that he was. And that's how he died and made me happy.
Well, I mean, like I said, it was the best you could do with poison.
Yeah.
So I'm satisfied as far as that, but as far as his actual death, I just wanted him to have a really, really brutal death.
You can't give him a brutal death because he would go to Valhalla.
Valhalla.
No, you don't getting tortured doesn't send you to Valhalla.
If you do a blood eagle torture on a person and they don't cry out in pain, you go to
He's
Valhalla.
Joffrey.
I'm just saying that's one way through torture you go to Valhalla. Okay.
He's Joffrey. He's crying.
You cut open the person's back, break the ribs, and then rip the lungs out from the back, and just have them suspended on their back like wings until you die. And as long as you don't scream out in pain, you go to Valhalla.
Yeah, that's not happening for me.
I was gonna say Joffrey would scream out like a little bitch when they kidnapped him.
Yeah, that's true.
Incest.
I mean, so many thoughts. I know I was thinking that he was gonna be around to like the end.
Yeah, because George R. Martin's a dick.
Yeah. Well, but no, that goes back to what I was saying, where like your death is if you deserve it, and because somebody eventually said like, screw this guy, he's a psychopath. Well, and that.
So then the question now is, how's Tommen gonna die?
Oh, yeah, right.
No, I'm kind of upset by that because like I hated Joffrey, but Tommen actually could seem like a good ruler, and I'm like shit.
Well, him and what's his cat, Sir Pounds?
Yeah, Sir Pounds.
Sir Pounds is awesome. I was upset that he wasn't in this latest episode. I want Sir Pounds to be in every episode.
He should be in every. He should
just
be
like
look at the end. Meow. You're like Sir Pounds.
Tobin is really a cool guy. I don't want to see him get murdered.
Oh, he's gonna die so bad.
Yeah.
So
like Stannis is gonna like come to the city and he's gonna be like, I can rule the kingdom better. Okay. And then he's gonna get like they're gonna guillotine him from his feet to his head with like 8 guillotines.
Yeah. It's I'm rooting for him though. I'm rooting for him to get, even though he's a young boy, I'm rooting for him to hook up with what's his name? What's her name?
The Tully.
Margaret?
Not Tully. Marjorie Tyrell.
Marjorie,
yeah.
Tyrell. Sorry, teased to get me messed up.
That lucky boy.
Tyrell.
Getting personal visits from her in the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but back to the murder, and this was built upon in the next episode. Apparently, Littlefinger created the entire basis for the series by getting what's her name.
Tully.
Crazy.
Catelyn's.
Yeah, Catelyn's sister, breastfeeding. What's her name? Robin Aaron. Yeah. No, that's her son.
Yeah, Robin Aaron's her son.
But what's his mother's name?
His mother's name? We don't know.
No one knows.
Yeah, whatever.
There's too many names in this show.
Sarah.
Sally is better. Sally Tully.
Getting what's her name?
Oh, come on.
You gotta be kidding me,
Hold
Collin.
on.
Stop.
No, wait. It has to Lisa Aaron.
Really? She has such a simple name.
Yeah, I should have remembered that. Her to poison, what's his name? John Aaron,
and blame it on
the Lannisters, which got the whole ball rolling. Yeah. So I really didn't like the scene where he revealed it?
I feel like they could have just... She was like, she had to tell me, you got me to poison my... She could have literally just said, I killed my husband for you, or something. Something, because that's a way more powerful thing to say to someone.
Exactly, yeah. That was, the writing there was good.
Yeah. She's crazy.
She is.
I don't like the scene right after that when Sansa was in her room. You just hear screaming across the castle.
God, where she's getting it on with
it was so awkward.
Littlefinger, who apparently isn't so little.
Yeah, of course. Let me show you my big finger.
So Littlefinger is now kind of, he's like the main villain of the series almost.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, because he's nobody. He's like of low birth. Yeah. And then he's like, just playing everyone so hard, trying to become king.
He's of a royal birth, but a low royal birth.
Just so worthless. He might as well.
He's like a low house.
He might as well be a peasant.
He's like middle class, basically.
Yeah, exactly, peasant. So yeah, he's just playing everyone, trying to become king and rule everything.
Yeah.
If his the thing that you signal.
Insignia, emblem,
signal,
house,
sigil.
There we go. Hey. Is actually one he created himself, not his actual family's.
Okay. Like what's his name? Sir Davos, the Onion Knight. So yeah, it's interesting to see. He's probably, if I had to bet on anyone living for the longest, it'd be him now, because he actually knows how to play the game.
I would say
he'll definitely live.
Daenerys, him, and Jon Snow are be like the three last people to be alive
in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
As they magic nuke the world with dragons and White Walkers, it's just a desert, and it's those three people. And then the last 5 episodes.
Arya will live.
Arya will live. Yeah.
The last 5 episodes of the 7th season will just be them having sex while Arya watches, because that's not legal.
Should be old enough by then.
Jon Snow and Daenerys.
Also legal, really back then. She could have sex like.
This is HBO.
6 months ago.
Actually,
okay?
this goes back to your theories. I am totally shipping Jon Snow and Daenerys, and you actually had a theory that they were related somehow. So it's incest.
Yes,
incest shipping now. So that's my life. That's where I'm at right now. Incest shipping Jon Snow and Daenerys. Actually, we didn't see Jon Snow or anyone of the Night's Watch above the wall.
Not for a few episodes.
Yeah.
Well, the episode right before we actually saw him raid.
That was the previous episode. Yeah, that was the previous episode.
And you just got to see him kick ass.
And it's like skewer the guy's head.
Yeah, right through. That happens a lot in this show.
Yeah.
The guy who tried to kill.
Mouth.
Was it?
Yeah, it was through his mouth.
Oh yeah.
The guy who tried to
kill.
He was
like, raw.
The guy who tried to kill Tyrion got it right through the back of the head from Pod
with a spear.
With a spear.
I mean, when people are facing the other way, the best place to stab them is the back of the head.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, looking for the final part, let's look forward a bit. And to lead this off, I actually read something really interesting a couple days ago on some random wiki. You know, I like to browse random wikis.
I know, you were once looking at like the 1942 off-season
Rams defense.
Yeah, like
it was Rams. I know it was the Rams. Like, why are you looking at the Rams? Like all teams.
So yeah, I look up random stuff, and this day I was looking up stuff on Game of Thrones, and they were talking about the relation the books have to each other. And originally, George R.R. Martin was going to make it a trilogy of 3 books, and so
now it's gonna be like 8.
Yeah, pretty much.
Were they gonna be longer,
or
were they just gonna be shorter?
I forget what exactly he estimated them at originally, but he said that after he got done writing Game of Thrones, or when he basically had finished what would become the book that was Game of Thrones, he was like, I'm gonna need more space to write these.
Yeah.
So basically, the way he said it, that Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, and what is it now, Storm of Swords, those are the first 3 books, that's actually the first of the trilogy. That essentially makes up the first story part of the trilogy.
The first part, the trilogy, 9 books.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, right. So basically we're coming, since this they adapted, season 1 was basically Game of Thrones, season 2 was A Clash of Kings, and these last 2 seasons have been the first and second parts of A Storm of Swords. So it's interesting. We're basically coming to the end of the first part of a trilogy here.
Yes.
And what was it, D.B. Wise and David Benioff, who are the showrunners, they were talking about how they're really excited for the end of the season because there are really great moments in like the last 3 episodes, but it is basically a conclusion to some of the plot lines that began in season 1.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm pumped.
Storm of Swords is praised as the best book out of the whole series. So, and this season has been awesome so far.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested how they do the next season because the next season is going to be a mashup of the 4th and 5th book.
Okay, yeah.
Because they take place at the same time, just they split the characters. Yeah.
So I know is the 5th book Dance of Dragons?
Yes.
And what's the 4th one?
A Feast of Crows.
Okay.
Or Feast for Crows.
So they still have so much to do. I was gonna say George R.R. Martin, if they keep doing this as consistently as they are, if he's gonna put out 8 or 9 books. Do you think they'll catch him?
They could easily catch him because he takes so long to write.
Yeah,
but he says no, I'll be done by the time. Like I don't believe you.
Even if they do, it's gonna take. They'll have to get to season 7 or 8 before they catch up to him.
Yeah. They're actually right now. This is on Wikipedia. It says there's 7 books planned, up to, and it was a Feast of Crows and then a Dance for Dragons.
Yeah,
He's had a Dance for Dragons. And the next one is The Winds of Winter, and the last one is A Dream of Spring. Tentative, of course. God knows he's extended this so many times. He says it'll be done when it's done.
So A Dream of Spring will basically be killing the White Walkers. And look, there's no more winter.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I imagine. And
Jon Snow and Daenerys hook up.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I love this show so much. This has to be one of my favorite shows. I
think it's ranked number 1 of my top favorite shows.
Yeah, it's getting there. Like it's been Breaking Bad and The Wire for the longest time. But
I've never seen The Wire. I do love Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm more of a fantasy guy. So,
yeah, me too.
So this kind of beats that out for me.
So I mean, I know what expectations do you guys have for the rest of the season and just going forward? Any predictions you want to make? Andrew, this is your big chance to.
At the end of this season, oh man, I have predictions for the whole series. I haven't thought about just the end of this book. I would say the incoming threat of Stannis, but not coming yet.
Yeah,
but just the whole setup.
Yeah, I feel the end of the season will be like the prepping of all that. Yeah. So that the beginning of the first season, the first probably 3 episodes, stuff can happen with that.
Daenerys is still gonna be over there.
Yeah.
I've heard she's over there for the next 2 books.
She'll be here in season 9, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe the prepping of why can't I think of the people above the wall?
Oh, the White Walkers?
No.
Oh, the
Wildlings.
Wildlings, yeah.
Just the Wildlings coming down in massive force to kill everyone at Castle Black. But I think it's not gonna be actually happening. It's just gonna be the whole build up for it. So that it ends and you're like, I want it more. But then it's wait a year.
Yeah. So it'd be so what do you think the big event's gonna be that ends this season though? Because I feel like next season it'll be halfway point will be the Wildlings or Stannis, and then the end will be the Wildlings or whichever one.
Yeah, whichever one doesn't happen.
So what's that going to be the end of this season?
I mean, again, I haven't read the books yet, so I can't. It's hard to tell what's going to happen.
Yeah, they definitely are hard to predict. I mean, there's certain things that are going to happen.
I would never guess I don't know. Well, I didn't want Ned Stark to die so bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they killed him. Bad. That's what I hate.
My favorite one. Me and my brother have a joke. It was they executed him for high treason, and it was we are here to execute Sir Edward Stark the Untreacherous for treason because he's the best guy ever. It's he's never lied in his life.
Yeah.
Treason, kill him.
Yeah, people gonna die. And actually, I hate to say it, I love Peter Dinklage on this show so much, but I have a feeling that Tyrion's gonna be dead by the end of the season.
That could be the thing
that's what I was gonna say. That was my prediction as to what the end's gonna be. Is gonna be because the episode before the last episode is like you say it's the best. I feel that's gonna be the episode
right before the fight. The 9th episode.
The trial by combat is gonna be that episode. And then the 10th one is what they always do is wrap up
wrapping stuff up. Yeah.
I don't want him to die.
I don't either. I want Peter Dinklage to be in the
Can we just
movie.
give it some Force ghosts and like floating around?
Of course.
Like still like
just like advising people.
Yeah, it'd be great. Like Ghost banging Shay, you know, it'd be great.
Fuck that. I want Shay to die.
Yeah, she has to die.
I hope they choose.
Have you ever been fucked by a ghost?
I hope that Peter Dinklage chooses Shay as his champion, so that she dies and he goes with her.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty funny. I don't think that's gonna happen. But...
I called it. You heard it here first.
Well, if any of those things happen,
free donuts for life.
Be sure to talk about it. Will we be back next week? I think we will.
I think we should.
I think we gotta give the people what they want.
We'll be back quicker than Jimmy John's.
Oh yeah.
So, every video has to reference fucking Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's are our unofficial sponsor.
See,
unofficial.
I have not.
At the moment.
I have not been here for the past month or so I have no idea what the hell this is about. I don't want to know. Don't build me on this.
It's too late. Jimmy John's makes those sandwiches so fast.
Oh God. Okay.
Now I'm part of it.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter. Did I miss anything, Andrew?
YouTube.
Brian usually does. YouTube.
LinkedIn, MySpace,
yes,
AOL,
Tumblr,
LiveJournal.
We haven't used our Tumblr in like 7
DOS,
years.
I don't know, whatever.
1994 BBS boards.
There you go, Windows 98. And join us for more great discussions and analysis of one of the best TV shows of all time, Game of Thrones.
Ever.
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.